Chatterbox. When the stars talk, they talk to Nick and Sue.
Nights in white satin, never reaching the end. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. Beauty I'd always missed with these eyes before. Just what the truth is, I can't say anymore, 'cause I love you. Yes, I love you. Some hand in hand, just what I'm going through, they can't understand. Some try to tell me thoughts they cannot defend. Just what you want to be, you will be in the end, and I'll love you. Yes, I'll love you. Nights in white satin, never reaching the end. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. Beauty I'd always missed with these eyes before. Just what the truth is, I can't say anymore, 'cause I love you. Yes, I love you. I love you. Yes, the Moody Blues. Night in white satin. And now on Chatterbox UK, we're just lucky enough to welcome Norda Mullen. Norda, welcome. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you, Nicholas?
All good, thank you. All good, thank you. Right, so let's start at the beginning.
I was born in Tennessee,
Mhm.
and then I lived, which is rich in culture, just there with all kinds of music. And then I lived there for 4 years till I was four, and then we moved to Mississippi, and then I stayed in Mississippi until I went to university when I was 18 years old. So a lot of musical influences in that part of the country.
But as a child, was it at school that you got into playing instruments and into music, or is it at home? Was it a whole mixture?
I think it was a mixture. I think that it started, I didn't even know it at the time, but my grandmother was all my relatives were musicians, like, very good amateur musicians. My grandmother played ragtime piano, which I thought was normal. I thought everybody, and my mother was a mandolin player. She was Greek, my mother, and she was a mandolin player. And then she became a violinist, classical violinist. And then I had five older siblings. So this was, I'll date myself, but this was in the 60s when I grew up. I was the youngest of six children. So, all the music was playing, all the rock and roll music that was coming out in the 60s, and, it was cranking full volume in our house. The Moody Blues and everybody, Bob Dylan and the Doors and, the Who and the Rolling Stones and the Supremes and just everything, anything and everything was, because five older siblings, everybody was listening to something or other.
Sure.
But then in school, and then when I was about, I think 10 in school, or maybe before what happened in school, I started taking piano lessons and then just private lessons. And then at about age 10 in school is when I started the flute. And I just played in a traditional Southern concert band, playing the flute. But because I had all these other influences, I started playing by ear pretty quickly at a young age, as well as reading music. So it just kind of all kinds of, and then being from the South, there's a lot of gospel and blues and jazz and country. I think that all those styles of music had an influence on me.
Are you the youngest of all the kids, or are there some younger than you as well?
No, I'm the youngest of six. So one boy and five girls. Yeah.
So, so a lot of different, perhaps with the 60s music, as you're saying. A lot of sort of, I'm sure they all had their own favourites, and you're hearing all sorts of things.
Yes.
It's interesting that you should mention the Moody Blues, because obviously we'll talk about them in a few minutes. Yes. It's just great that I'm sure you were there as a child, hearing that on the radio and hearing the records being played. I doubt you could have possibly thought in a million years you'll be playing with them one day.
Never.
Right,
it's so funny that happened. It was just, in fact, when I did start playing with them, there was a night, this is when I first started with them, it would have been in early 2003. And we were on stage and we were doing, so I was still pretty nervous. I was a little nervous at first. I never got nervous for very long because I totally just felt so comfortable on stage with them and just I felt like I knew the material and I was fine. But right at the first, I was quite, nervous. And I would listen. We were doing Tuesday afternoon and I was standing there listening to it as we were playing it in front of an audience, and it went into the da 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 da, that boogie part, boogie woogie, as you say here, and it went to that part, and I just went off in my mind, and I was just looking around this audience, and I just was saying to myself, I cannot believe I'm standing here playing this song, standing here on this stage with these people. Meanwhile, I looked, and the band, they were all looking at me, and I was thinking, wow, I must look really good tonight. Why they all like? And then I realized I was supposed to be playing the flute solo, and I forgot to come in.
Oh.
I was so wrapped up in the moment. And then and then started playing, and I was actually quite mad at myself. But it was one of those moments where I had to pinch myself, Yeah,
I understand that obviously to start with, it must have been quite surreal.
Oh, yeah.
It must have been. But yeah, I've got a little bit to fill in now. We've obviously got you coming to the UK. We've still got a big gap. We got you as like a teenager at school and what you were doing and everything else. Now, I'm assuming that you were still in the USA when you started doing concerts and doing it more as a professional thing
Yes.
in your life, as opposed to sort of like a hobby or playing it, having a bit of a. It sounds fantastic that you probably were being a musical family. You probably were having your own jamming sessions, somebody on the piano and you on the flute. I can
Yes.
imagine that. So
Yes. Little
that's
familial
pretty
things
cool.
within the family. We would pretend we were a rock band, and we were all it was crazy. We just loved to play together and to play music together. But alongside that, and at the same time, immediately I started realizing I was very serious about the flute in a classical sense, even
Mhm.
though I also was exposed to all kinds of music. But I wanted to be in an orchestra. So
Mhm.
I really trained like very strictly, like a ballerina would train. And I went to a place called Interlochen in Michigan every summer for 8 weeks a summer. And I went for 4 summers in a row, age 14, 15, 16, 17. And it's extremely competitive, very intense orchestral training. We had to practice probably 8 to 10 hours every single day for 8 weeks. And it was very competitive. We had to, of course, I had to be first chair in the orchestra. I had, and so as a result, I got very good because it was just so intense. And then I went to university. I went to Northwestern University in Chicago and got my flute performance degree and my teacher was the piccolo player of the Chicago Symphony. Walfred Kujala is his name, and he's quite famous. And he was my teacher there. It was again, a very intense university training. And so that's what I was doing alongside with loving rock music, even though a lot of my classical friends and co-players in orchestras weren't really checking out that other side of music the way I was. I was just because of my siblings, like I said, and because of my upbringing, it was all kinds of, I wasn't just a narrow classical player.
Mhm. But of course, Chicago is a pretty good city, really,
Great.
to get your degree in. It really is music.
Yeah, and Northwestern's a fantastic university. I didn't even realize they only let in 4 flute players every year. I didn't even know, or I wouldn't have auditioned. I just wanted that teacher, so I auditioned and I got in. So it's like, well, then I didn't know till I got there, like, why are there only 3 other flute players in my year, each year? So I was extremely lucky to have gotten into that school and to have a degree. Then after Chicago, in Chicago, I started playing on TV commercials, studio work. And then I moved to LA because I was tired of 6 feet of snow outside of the window. So I thought, well, it's got to be LA then. That's the place with nice weather. And then I did studio work out there. And then I started playing in movies, soundtracks of movies. So I did a lot of work for Randy Newman and a lot of Pixar movies and like the Toy Stories. And that's why I have these Toy Stories,
Lovely.
and the Jurassic Parks and all. I was doing in the orchestral film work, which was great work. Really very lucky again to get into that room. And then the Moody's called. So I kind of did those two parallel things. I toured and I played movies, and then
Wow.
I'm still living in America.
Let's just stop for a second. Let's look. I'm looking at your website here, and
Oh,
of course I've clicked on movie scores because
okay.
in my other life I'm a big movie fan. In fact, I used to own cinemas myself and do a syndicated show called Movie Madness. So I've got that interest as well. So I'm looking at these movie scores. Obviously, we talked about mentioned Toy Story.
Yeah,
Two, Jurassic Park,
yeah,
Meet the Parents, Toy
yeah,
Story 3, Toy Story 2, Ice
yeah.
Age, fantastic. Cars.
Matrix movies, those were hard. I played piccolo in a lot of these. They're really hard. The Jurassic Parks were piccolo. Gosh,
Wow.
that's hard because you have to go in and sight read, and it's some of the hardest music I've ever seen in my life. But it was fun.
What an interesting part of your career that is.
No, it was great because then the Moody's called, and then that's what leads me here. So you can go ahead and Moody's, because we were performing at the Royal Albert Hall several times here in London with the Moody's, and my future husband was in the audience, but I didn't know him, but he saw me, and this was way back. It's probably 2004, I think.
Hmm. Hmm.
But he didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to talk to me without seeming like a weirdo. So he didn't say anything for about 4 more years. He just kept seeing me and just,
Wow,
so
brilliant.
anyway, but the long story is finally I moved here to be with him. And I figured, I was touring. I moved here in 2010 and I figured I could live anywhere and tour.
Hmm.
It would be easier for me to move here than for him to move there. He's very English and his job was really here, a very substantial job here. So But it's a different culture. I've come to realize,
Most Americans that I meet, I mean, obviously, there's the UK link, but they love the UK and the way it is and the way it's a bit somewhat sedate and whatever it might be, but
yeah,
it
it's
doesn't.
very different, but lovely, very lovely, and but it is funny. Like at first you think, or I thought that like, oh, we speak the same language. It must be very similar, and it's it's not similar. It's a different culture.
When it comes to the Moody Blues, okay, Moody's bring you over, but was it like an advert in Variety, or did you know Justin Hayward and he phoned you up one day? I mean,
No,
how did it come about? It's quite a
I
big
didn't
gig,
know
really.
Justin at all. I didn't know. What happened was I think Justin was doing a solo tour in 1996, a Southern California, just 3-date tour. And I believe he called a contractor, or maybe he called his agent, our agent, Robert Norman, and then Robert called a contractor. Basically, he needed a flute player, but he wanted a flute player that could look like a rock and roller, but could play the flute. And Robert recommended me, and Justin called, and that was it. I guess the Moody's were just finishing a tour in Lake Tahoe, and they flew me up on the final night of their tour. And then Justin was going to do for the next week or so, his tour without the Moody's. And they flew me up so he could hear how I played, and they flew me up, and it was like, he's like, gosh, that was a wasted ticket because I played. And he said, okay, you're good. So I did his solo thing in California, and that was 96. And then nothing happened. And then when Ray retired at the end of 2002, I guess Justin said, there's this girl in LA, but I don't know how to find her. And I think his wife had back then we had business cards, I think she kept my card, and of course, the phone number wasn't the same number anymore, and they had to call like an orchestra contractor again and they got my name within a couple of minutes because I was doing work, freelance flute playing. So they called and said, "Do you want to go on tour with the Moody Blues in about a month?" I said, "Yes, okay, of course." So that was great and very intense. So I never had to audition for them. I was very lucky.
There is, of course, an element of class with the Moody Blues in their style. I mean, basically all the time Justin was there. I mean, Go Now and all the earlier stuff before he was about is more poppy, but there is a real element of style about them where people that love classical music, and it's proven itself to play classical styles, it just works.
It worked.
There's that crossover between pop and classical with them, yeah.
Yes, it was perfect. It was perfect fit, I think.
Now, I can see here that this is Wikipedia I'm looking at the moment. So they're not always renowned for being right. It's only what someone's put there, but it's got your years there as being 2003 to 2018. It's got you playing the flute, of course, guitar, percussion, and doing some backing vocal.
Harmonica. They should have put harmonica. I play that too.
Okay, now I'm looking. This is something of interest as well. We talk about your own stuff that you've released and are releasing in a mo. But let's put the Moody Blues to bed with. I've got December that came out in 2003.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Lovely to See You, which was live in 2005, and Days of Future Past, live again 2018. So am I right in thinking the live ones are actually albums of concerts and so on?
Yes. They're live recorded. Well, there's also one called Live at the Greek, which was about 2006. That was fantastic. So so December is just a CD, an audio, but the Days of Future Past live, that's in Toronto, I believe. Yeah, that was done at the 2018. That's right before we did the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I think, in 2018. Yes, and that's out on DVD. And then also, what was the other one you mentioned?
And the other one I mentioned was Lovely to See You.
That's the one, Live at the Greek. Lovely to See. That's a wonderful one. They're all great. But the one in Days of Future Past, that was with an orchestra, whereas Lovely to See You is just the band. But it's great. That's in Los Angeles. The Greek Theater. Yeah, in LA.
Yeah. Now December. I mean, that is that's I'm just looking at all the. I mean, obviously, I'm familiar with the album anyway. Got sent it when it came out, but of course, the point is, for the listeners' sake, because we have listeners of all ages, and we must say that just December was such a historic album so far as the Moody Blues go, and it's just fantastic that you got your name down there as a. And the reason why I'm saying that is, of course, it was the 16th and final studio album the Moody Blues were produced.
I see. I
And
didn't
it really,
realize.
yeah. So that's a very important bit of history there, and I can
Very
see
good.
your name quite clearly on it. Yeah, you're
I'm quite proud of that. That's
bit of
great.
history. Well,
Yeah,
it's an absolute honour to be talking to you about it.
that's
So there
lovely.
you
Okay,
go.
good, good.
Right, let's move
That's a
on.
nice album. That's a nice album.
Yes. And what amazing covers on there. I mean, Happy
Yeah.
Christmas, War is Over and all that stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah, I know. That's a
Oh,
lovely. Yeah, Justin does a beautiful job of that. Of that.
beautiful. So beautiful. Right, let's move on. Let's talk about your solo stuff and what you've been doing. Now, how many albums have you brought out to date?
I think four, maybe.
Okay.
One's
And
called Norda, and then one is. Well, I can't remember. What were you going to say? I interrupted you, and then
I was going to say, there, perhaps if we talk about, if we go to the ones that you've done with Chris Spira, because they're sort of a bit
Oh,
more
okay.
than what we're doing now. Something want to talk to you about really is you've got a sort of like a self-titled album, Norda.
Yes.
It's been a bestseller. It's been out a few years now, and it's made the CD Baby UK charts. Okay.
Yay! That's fantastic news.
Yeah, that's what it's got here. That's what it's got here. And hey, tell us a bit about it. I mean, we got some songs here like "Believe in Me" and
Yes.
"I Like It, It's Okay." Let's talk about those to start with.
Okay.
How did they get on the CD? I mean, what inspired you to get them on there? And
Well, that's interesting. So that CD, I think, was those are songs I wrote pretty soon after I moved to the UK.
Mhm.
And gosh, it's so funny. That song, Believe in Me, I wrote it in about 2 minutes because basically what happened, well, I wanted to do a CD. I wanted to do my own music for one thing. That's how it sort of started. But then when we moved here, I didn't have a piano. And I like to write on the piano or guitar, not on the flute because it's kind of hard for me to write on the flute. So we didn't have a piano. But I had these ideas in my head, and in the minute the piano got delivered to our house, that piano truck hadn't even left the street, and I had written this song, Believe in Me, because I had it in my head, and I sat down, and it's about just saying, it's basically to my husband saying, because you believe in me, that's just great, how important that was to me and how much it meant to me. So that's what that song is about.
What are you doing? What are you doing to me? Look at our life now, just like we want it to be. What took you so long? I sing you this song 'cause you believe in me. What are you saying? What are you saying to me? Up until now, it's all been poetry. What took me so long? I sing you this song 'cause you believe in me. Believe in me. out the window, it's all beauty and free. All that we got now, all we needed to be. What took us so long? Love is so strong. Do you believe in me? Believe in me. La da da da
And then there's a song on there, I don't know if you see that, but it's called This Beautiful World.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That song was written, my dad at the time had Alzheimer's, and he, I kind of wanted to just thank him for telling me that this is a beautiful world, for teaching me the things that he taught me. He in particular, not all fathers teach their kids that. So dad's take on the whole thing was, you know, how beautiful life is. And he was, at the time I wrote it, he didn't really know me anymore, I don't think. And he, so I just wanted to thank him, but I couldn't thank him in person because he wouldn't hear me or know anything. So I wrote this song, thanking him, telling him he could go if he wants, just giving him permission maybe to go. And also, he loved, one of his favorite songs in the whole world is Amazing Grace. And so in the middle of that song, I do a little quote of Amazing Grace on the flute, just for him, you know. So that's a very, very special song for me.
I can relate to that because my own father, he passed away last year and
Oh,
had
sorry.
vascular dementia. So a lot of the comments you're making, I can relate to. But then again, a lot of people listening to this interview will also be able to relate to that. And let's hope they give that song a little listen. And
Yeah,
it's
this
very
beautiful world.
meaningful when you put it like that. That's quite something, you know.
Yeah, yeah, especially the Amazing
People.
Grace part in the middle of the song. It really, it's almost, we've done that live and it's almost hard for me to play it without crying, you know, that part, because he loved that song. He just said, that song brings tears to my eye, you know, and so I just had to put that in the song.
Chatterbox. You're listening to Nick Prince and Sue Earle on Chatterbox UK.
So yes, so the ones that Leaving Me Home, I like it. It's okay.
Home is interesting. Home is about the combination of being from the South and living in London. I've kind of merged the two, talking about roosters crying at dawn to then going to, you know, the river and church bells ringing and, you know, London calling, traffic crawling, you know, stuff like that. So I merged my two lives.
Sure, that's good. That's good. I knew that'd be a great story. I thought it was something.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, another place. The world turning at a much slower pace. No plastic stars to fill my mind. The pure at heart, the truth did find. Hilltops glistening, wind chimes whispering, flowing rivers, moonlight slivers, rhythm of the rain beats in my heart. What's within was all that matters. Silence over useless chatter. Orange sky at night lit up the dawn. Take me home. Peaceful skies at dawn. Take me home to that other place. Take me home. Rooster cries at dawn. Take me home to that other place. Summer days turn into lights. City calling can't be denied. It seems so far away. Wouldn't have it any other way. London calling, traffic crawling, church bells ringing, children singing, puzzle pieces fit into place. Love came whispering, I was listening, river flowing, castles glowing, even still I like to dream. Take me home. Peaceful skies at dawn. Take me home to that other place. Take me home. Rooster cries at dawn. Take me home to
singles listed here I'll talk about. Now we got Pray For You.
Pray For You is about kind of like just for somebody that was kind of in need. It's kind of like, I'll pray for you, just giving somebody support, when they're having a hard time.
Sure.
Tell me all your troubles and I'll lend a hand. Whisper all your secrets and I'll understand. Say that they love you but don't really care. You tell them that you're lonely, it floats in the air. But what can I do? It's me and it's you. Feeling like an island adrift in the sea. Waves are lap around you, you'll see it's just me. Light in the darkness to show you the way. Hold my arms around you with love every day. But what can I say? It's me and it's you. I pray for you. I pray for you. I pray for you. Oh my heart. So let the knowing guide you and hold up your hand. The angels, they surround you, no tears will you shed. Treasure all the blessings coming your way. Appreciate the goodness touching you day, glimpsing your way. But what can I say? I pray for you. I pray for you. I pray for you. Oh my heart. I pray for you. I pray for you. Oh my heart.
Give It Up.
Give It Up is more political, a little bit political. It's which I'm also writing a song right now that I try not to be too political, but sometimes I just can't help it. And at that time, well, I guess I was just talking about politicians and just talking about people lying all the time and just give it up. Just give it up. Stop lying. That's what that's about.
Was that American politicians, British ones?
I think it was a little bit of both, because I think in the world, actually, it's just seems to be happening. I'm finally getting old enough to figure out that I don't think politicians really want to lead. I don't think they really are looking after the people. I think it's more about power. Duh.
Well, the majority of them in the UK certainly are millionaires. So.
I don't know if they're really in touch with us plebs, If you're a billionaire, I'm not sure you really understand maybe what we might be talking about.
It's a pity it's the system. I don't know. We're supposed to have the fairest system in the world, but then again, first past the post, you can have
well, same with America. It's not.
Yeah. The whole way they get the numbers in the house, and that state has 17, and that one has
Yeah.
Alaska has one or whatever it might be.
Yeah. And it's because nasty-minded people want to be the only kind of people that want to be in politics are evil-minded. Good people, we've had a few wonderful exceptions. Turns out that people who want that job, which I would think is a horrible job, turns out they're just powermonger people that don't have our best interest at heart.
Well, the assassination rate of American presidents isn't so. I mean, we've still to this day only had one British Prime Minister get assassinated, and that was 1830 or something.
Yeah.
But America, that's still not, 4 out of it's still not a very good success rate of surviving it. Really.
Well, we have guns. That's why.
Of course, yeah.
They assassinate the good ones, I think.
Listening to the bad news every day, hearing all the old men and the lies and what they say. We've got to stand up and look at what is true. We've got to fight for the believers, turn the oceans back to blue. I wonder what goes on inside your mind. Things you say are full of lies and viciously unkind. We've got to stand up and show them what is true. We've got to fight for the believers, turn the oceans back to blue. Oh, give it up. Please give it up. Oh, give it up. Please give it up. I long for all the kind and gentler days, a world that's full of dreams and love and lost in purple haze. We've got to stand up and show them what is true. We've got to fight for the believers, turn the oceans back to blue. Oh, give it up. Please give it up. Oh, give it up. Please give it up. Oh, give it up. Please give it up. Oh, give it up. Please give it up.
Say it anyway. Now that's my lockdown song. Basically what that's about is, come on, say it. Just say it. How can you play with our lives like this? Just say it. We got to go out and play. I just want a cafe. You'll have to listen to it and you'll hear what I mean. And look at the trees. They sway, because I was in my studio and all I could see were these two trees. That's all I saw for 2 years. So I was just stuck and frustrated. And I just, and I wanted the politicians to just say it, because they kept dancing around. Because I don't think anybody knew. I don't think anyone knew what COVID was. So I don't want to fault anybody too much, but there was just such a non-information. I just wanted information.
Did you hear the news today? Makes you wanna pray. Can't go out and play, just wanna run away. Woke up again today, get to stay for one more hey, yeah. Is this the price we pay? Got to run away. All the pomp and the circumstance. Can't you let us just get up and dance? Say it anyway. I wanna say it anyway. Yeah. Look at the trees, they sway. They raise their hands each day. They give their souls away. They don't run away. I just want a cafe. What's so wrong with a sunny day? I don't like your cliches, so very risque. What makes you wanna take this chance? With all our lives such a wicked stance. Oh, the pomp and the circumstance. Can't we all just get up and dance? Say it anyway. Just wanna say it anyway. We're gonna dance just anyway. Say it anyway. Hey, so let's dance anyway.
Okay, let's down to the river. Tell us about what.
Down to the River. That's definitely a collaboration between several of these songs. Are my husband and I collaborated on. So Home is one. Like he would say, I hear this chorus, and he sings me just a few words, and then I just wrote the whole rest of the song. And then Down to the River is largely his kind. And then I think it's like baking a cake. He gives me ingredients to certain songs, and then I bake the cake. That was a lot of his ingredients. And that was about when the Queen died, because he was just seeing on the news people at the river, you know, standing out there waiting in line to see her casket. So he wrote a song about that. That's what the words are about, is when the Queen died. Yeah. So that was, they're all pretty topical, I guess, songs.
I went down It's a feeling to share. No matter what you say or do, the truth reveals itself to you. We get to see the writing on the wall. No matter whether near or far, we all can chase that shooting star. The shining light of hope can reach us all. I went down to the river today. Crowds of people were beginning to sway. It's a union of saints. It's a picture love paints. No matter what you say or do, the truth reveals itself to you. We get to see the writing on the wall. No matter whether near or far, we all can chase that shooting star. The shining light of hope can reach us all.
What can we expect from Norda Mullen in 2024? What's going to be happening?
Well, I'm doing a live show in London. I play a lot at this place called the Half Moon in Putney, and I've got a show coming up in April. I have my own band, and in that show, I do largely my material, but I do I call it a flutified version of Nights in White Satin. That's also on my website. It's just me playing flute, the melody, and then really going off almost like a classical cadenza. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's where a classical player shows off in the middle of a concerto. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of do that, and it's nice. And then anyway, I'm putting together more songs.
So
if you could write a song for somebody,
yeah,
and who would you like that person to sing it?
Wow, what a question. Oh my. Well, think about that. This is going to sound really weird. I would like it to be the lead singer of the Pogues that just died.
Okay.
Because I love his voice. I love his voice it's not about his voice per se. It's about his expression, his creative expression with words, that I could never do it like that. Like, people tell me I sound like Karen Carpenter and stuff. Like, that's more my vein of singing. I don't sing like he's so. Do you know who I'm talking about? Right? Is it what's his name?
Shane MacGowan.
MacGowan. He's so expressive with his words because he's almost speaking his singing. I like that type of singing only because I can't do it. Like, same thing like Tom Waits or somebody like that, because I think I write good words sometimes, but I feel like my way of singing them in the way I wish I could sing in a different way that could express them in a different kind of tone color. So I would love to write a song for someone like that, a gruff male voice. Actually, it sounds kind of odd, but that's what I would love, just because I can't do that.
That's good. Okay, now let's look at some social media, Norda. So we've got a great website, and people really should look at it. And your movie scores is, wow. That is quite something. So we've got nordamullen.com. So Norda, NORDAMULLEN. NordaMullen.com. Now, there is links to your Facebook. We've got your YouTube channel.
Yes.
I can see Instagram there.
Yes. Yep. I'm going to get a little better with Instagram.
Norda, it's been so fascinating.
Thank you
so much.
Pleasure.
And I would very much. We will put your music on Hit or Miss and things like that when it gets sent.
I'd love that. Please do.
But we'll let you know when it's on. You can come in the chat room and you can vote for yourself. You know.
I'd love it.
All great democracies in the world let you vote for yourself, after all. So you can.
Yes, why not? Exactly.
It's been absolutely fascinating. It's a great career. You're a great musician and you're a great person to interview. And thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, and a lovely interview. Thank you for all your knowledge, and it's a real pleasure. Nice to meet you, Sue, as well.
Nice to meet you.
Take care, Norda. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. That's all we have time for this week. Thank you to our guests, who were Norda Mullen of the Moody Blues and Marie Johns. Our email address is chatterboxuk2021@gmail.com. That's chatterboxuk2021@gmail.com. This week's edition of Chatterbox was presented by Sue L and Nick Prince.